Bad grammar that is actually correct. Neither bad nor correct are technical terms, so when people say bad, very often they mean non-standard. And sometimes they even reject expressions that are simply archaic, literary, poetic. And when they mean not correct, they mean, okay, it's inappropriate, but acceptable in certain contexts. So a better title would have been probably Weird Things Can Be Okay. Let's explore them. This is John McWhorter, one of my favorite linguists. He wrote Our Magnificent Bastard Tongue, in which he essentially said that languages are messy. And that is true. That doesn't mean that anything goes, that nothing is wrong. Let's check this out. You a woman. I say not. Big space, no walk. The people that be with me are my cousins. Those sentences are clearly wrong, okay? And yet, as we are about to see, some very similar phrases are perfectly okay. Yes, perfectly okay. Let's take a look at them. Number 1, long time no see. Who would say such a thing? Well, apparently, a long time ago, someone that looked like this. Although some authors believe that it could derive from a Mandarin phrase, Hao Jiu Bu Jiang, excuse my rusty Mandarin. Whatever the origin might be, the expression is in the dictionaries, long time no see. And it's simply colloquial. You know, the very dictionary says informal. Number 2, the powers that be. What are the powers that be? Well, people like this guy. He may look a little sleazy to you, but he represents power. So the powers that be refers to men and women in positions of power, the people who decide what is allowed in a group or organization. It's a little formal, but it can also be ironic or even funny, all right? The powers that be. Nothing wrong with that be. Number 3, as was to become customary. If you're a learner of English, you will have noticed immediately a glaring absence there. Was has no subject. How is that okay? Well, it is. Listen to this. As was to become customary at the beginning of his work, Herodotus tells us why he wrote it. That was written by acclaimed historian John Burrow in 2007. So it is correct. It is a fixed expression, rather formal. Nothing wrong with it. You should be aware that it exists. Number 4. This guy looks at you and says, hey, you the man. Not you are the man, not you're the man, you the man. Where is the verb? There is no verb. It is a very colloquial, non-standard expression that means way to go, you're the best, congratulations man, well done, all right? Now watch out. There is a variation on that phrase, which is you da man. With that pronunciation, it's also non-standard, but that pronunciation refers to the so-called Ebonic style. So, in other words, the black vernacular. If you're a learner of English, I think you may want to steer clear of that because it might not be appropriate for you to mimic an expression like that by using that pronunciation. So that is probably a no-no. Still, you should know what it means because it's very common. 5. Go he did. Wait a second. Shouldn't it be he did go? No. Go he did. So who talks like that? Well, this little guy, all right? Go he did. Sorry, that was my Yoda impression, but you get the picture. All right, it's very bizarre, and yet, listen to this. It's an excerpt from The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov in Michael Glennie's translation. The water was so cold that it took his breath away, and for a moment, he even doubted whether he would reach the surface again. But reach it, he did. So it is formal, even literary, and also beautiful, okay? It's emphatic, stylish, grammatically impeccable. Number 6. So here goes. So let's assume that you're an alien and you have to break the news to your parents. Well, before you say mom, dad, I'm an alien, you might want to insert this little formula because according to the dictionaries, look at that, here goes, it is used to express resignation, especially at the beginning of a difficult or unpleasant undertaking. So you might say, okay, so here goes. Mom, Dad, I'm an alien. The register is obviously a little colloquial. I would even go so far as to say that it's standard, neutral register. Number 7, if need be. Now, shouldn't it be if it needs to be? Come on, I mean, there is no subject. The third person S is missing. That is a mess. Well, yes, it is truly bizarre, but that's what people say, if need be. It's in the dictionary labeled as an idiom. Okay, it's a little formal. You may want to say, well, if it is absolutely necessary, or if it comes to it, or there are alternatives that are not so formal, but again, nothing wrong with that. 8, as best I can. Yes, I'll do it as best I can. Wait a second, shouldn't it be as well as I can or something to that effect? Not really. It's an expression, as best one can, an idiom. All right? She answered their questions as best she could. And it's standard register. Number 9. Look at that anchor. He could say something like, any good news today? I think not. I don't think so. No, I don't think so is weak. This is different. This is I think not. And it's an idiom. The dictionary says it's used to express a negative opinion about a question one has just asked. So it's rather rhetorical, okay? Is this a good use of our tax dollars? I think not. It kind of replicates the same structure we find in I fear not or the semimodal I dare not. Somewhat formal, I would say. Just like the dictionary. Look at that. Somewhat formal. Number 10. This guy might say, well, it was kind of like, I be like. Again, that pesky be again. Is that like a be that as it may, like lest he be neglected? Look at this. And of the chronicles since the beginning of the creation of the world unto this present time, by which we be daily informed, we be. That was written by William Caxton in the 15th century. So it is simply very old. It's okay, but archaic. Be that as it may is a formula. Okay, lest he be neglected, you don't have a choice. Lest triggers off the subjunctive. So that's also okay. I be like is obviously non-standard. If you're a learner of English, you may want to avoid that. So that was it for today. I hope this was useful. Bye.